Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that. And we are
SP Film Viewers.
I suspect foul play. I say I suspect foul play here, boy.
It's actually really good.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode.
I'm guessing you probably don't know what we're watching. Or I would not have known.
Part of that, what I just did, is included in the trailer. Not so much the real foghorn leghorn thing that was going for there, but yeah, so as you can already tell, this is the episode where we cover Knives Out.
So it's quite funny actually the way we picked this one. You gave me quite a few options and I kind of said, oh, is this like that train one where it's like a murder mystery kind of thing? What is that?
Yeah, that's Murder on the Orient Express.
Which I do think I was quite interested in. I've never played Cluedo before, but I feel like this had that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, definitely. This is one I've seen before, and I thought you'd really appreciate this one because it's very good writing, and well, as we'll get into discussing it, all aspects of it are top notch.
Yeah, it is really, really intriguing, actually. I think he's made me stay up late as well, which normally at the moment I'm going to bed quite early because I'm just shattered. But it was that gripping that I was like, I didn't even feel tired. I was just really intrigued to know, obviously, the outcome of it and what was going to happen. And it took you on like different twists and turns, and I didn't really in the end know what to believe.
So we'll go into this saying, hopefully you listen to this if you've seen this film before, so because we are going to be kind of like going into big spoilers around this because of based on what the film is about. It's kind of like who did the murder type of thing, so we're going to obviously be talking a lot about all aspects of it. So
yeah,
just
so you're mindful. So obviously if you do want to go and watch it, watch it. Then come back.
Yeah, definitely come back to this and hear our thoughts on it. So, that being said, let's begin.
First of all, I just want to ask you one question. Have you ever been in a murder mystery?
You mean like acted out in a...
Yeah, because I know we did attend like a 30th birthday, but we weren't really...
That was the closest to ever doing something like that, yeah.
I'd love to do one where I'm actually acting, but do you know, I'm not very good at acting, like in drama school.
No, neither am I.
I was rubbish, like written all over my face that I'm lying or can't act or I'm not pulling it off, really. So even though I'd like to be part of one, I feel like I wouldn't be a great, like if I was the murderer, I'd be like, yeah, it were me.
Be written all over your face almost, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, going back to Knives Out, the film, you see that somebody's died, which is Harlan. He's the lovely old man, and he's the one with all the money, which kind of within this, I feel like money is the root of all evil.
As it very plainly see throughout from these relatives of his.
It's horrible. None of them are actually there for him because they care. All they want is his money. I think obviously he's got some children, so he's got his daughter, and I feel like she generally does care about her dad and there is a connection there. So basically, obviously Harlan is, we don't know at the moment how he's died or what's happened, but he's got a big family around him. Has he got 3 children?
He's got 2 children, and then various grandchildren from them. And
then he's got that one lady who clings on. So he did have 3. I'm guessing one of them passed
away, or the split up, divorce, whatever.
So she's still with the family.
Mm-hmm.
clutching a claws in still for the money that she can get.
The one meaning the one who's called Joni.
Yeah, and Meg.
Yeah, the daughter, yeah. Who is funnily a bit like, made you aware of a bit like how Gwyneth Paltrow has got that like goop company thing, that she's a bit like that in this role, with kind of like this, self-made therapy, health, weirdness thing.
I didn't really twig on that. I just felt like she was a bit of a hippie kind of character and pretending to be all nice and peace and central, but actually still got her own motives of why she, not that she's killed him, but why she would want to stick around. Because, not being funny, I think it's nice to obviously, if you were no longer, I would obviously want to still be in touch with your parents and everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those that her reason and her incentive is the wrong one. So she's just constantly fishing around there, and I don't think it's for the right reasons, really. So it kind of gets to the point, obviously, you've got your murder, the police are wanting to do some questioning, you have, obviously, what's his name? The detective.
Sitting in the background.
Yeah.
Benoit Blanc, who's played by Daniel Craig.
Bond?
Yeah, James Bond.
Does he talk like that, actually, or is he putting that on?
No, he's very much putting that on. He's a British actor normally.
What was he trying to be?
Southern kind of thing, but like the Foghorn Leghorn character from Looney Tunes, that kind of...
okay.
That's where it's going with that.
I get it.
And they even mention that in the film later on.
I do quite like his character, actually.
Yeah, but it's just a bit funny that he went with that kind of choice of accent for it. But anyway, yeah.
It makes it a bit more comical, but at the same time, you do grow to love his character.
Obviously, it gets a sort of on-set comedy aspect at the start as well, with what obviously we're going to say, the maid who sort of brings up the breakfast and discovers that Alan has been murdered, so we think. And she does that like shock, but then she kind of like stumbles with the food, like, but almost like not like drop like somebody would, in a way that in shock you immediately drop the thing. It's kind of like oops, what have I kind of done? Like I wasn't supposed to
come in here and notice this, or
No. I mean, like oops, accident, like shit, what she says, and kind of like like, I've got to clean this up now type of thing, not
this man dead.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so it's kind of a funny vibe that, and it's like, is that to throw you off from the start or something? Like,
there's a lot of throwing you off in this one, isn't there? There really is. Like, you kind of get to know about the children. So obviously you've got Walt, who is obviously his son.
Yeah.
He owns the company that Harlan has, which is to do with books. I'm guessing he's an author. However, Walt never writes any of the books. It's always Harlan, and
he's pushing for the fact of like getting like movie and TV rights for the adaptations and stuff. He's very much wanting that, which is, I guess, makes it all a modern twist, modern take on things. Like how back in the day when these mystery type things played at stories out, they're all about just the simple things like just pen and paper and like very not technological aspects of going about things. So that's pushing it into the new age. Thing with that.
And you feel for Walt because he's kind of, his dad seems to have always, not in a bad way, dumbed him down a little bit. Like, his ideas are not bad. But I think Harlan is a little bit of a perfectionist and he likes his things the way it is, and he's finding it hard to let go at the same time. So he's kind of squandered Walt's growth in any aspect, really. He's kind of just literally in his dados. That was meant to say in his dad's foot shadow, basically. That's what that is, dado. Oh dear. So you've then got the daughter.
Yeah, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who is Linda Drysdale, who's...
Do you know what's really strange? I was like, oh, she's from Freaky Friday, and you were like, yeah, she's from another film as well, Sophie, and I'm like, is she? And you're like, well, what's your favourite Christmas film that you like? And I'm like, looking at you like, thinking, well, she's not in Home Alone, she's not in The Grinch, and you were like, no, Christmas with the Cranks. I'm like, really? Because she didn't have that hair. I know that sounds really daft. In Freaky Friday, it was cut like that short line.
Mm-hmm.
So I can associate it, whereas
yeah,
because she looks completely like a different person.
well,
When you said
hair
it,
in this.
When you said it, I kind of noticed it, but it took a bit for that to sink in.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like she's a bit of a sassy character, but she loves her dad. I get that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
She's not in it for the money.
Well, I think she kind of is, though.
She is, but I think not as much as the others. Like, you get a sense of her dad really does care for her as well. So obviously, spoiler alert, her husband is
having an affair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his
dad. So yeah, in that sense, he's kind of like wants to do right by her, by that, and kind of reveal or tell her this is going on. Yeah.
And I think there's like kind of scenes where she's kind of knows her dad's things. So like, for example, he wrote a letter to her and she got a lighter and was able to read it that way.
Yeah, with like invisible ink type thing, yeah.
So there's certain things where I feel like they had a bit of a stronger connection. She doesn't actually have a moment where like the others do, like Walt having a bit of a yelling match with Harlan. Mm-hmm. She doesn't seem to have that animosity as much. No. Hers is more with her husband having an animosity with Harlan, isn't it? Yeah. So I quite like her as a character, actually. She's not my bugbear. Okay. So then you've got obviously her son, who is Captain America. You don't get to see a lot of him really until like the back end of the film. You just know that he left the party early, and you kind of get in blips of that he's been cut out of the inheritance and is not a nice character, basically. But then there's a bit of a twist on him, but we haven't got to all the characters yet, so we'll carry on going. So then we've got Meg, who I could like her or leave her. She's that hippie's daughter.
Yeah.
You've got a weird, strange boy.
Yeah, he's the son of Walt, and he's constantly like political tweeting on.
And I guess there's that like Walt's wife. I'm guessing like the prim proper one who just sits there with the bag.
Yeah, the blonde.
I don't even know her name. But she's there. So and
then of course we've got the carer of Harlem.
The main lady.
Yeah, Anna Day Armas, who plays the character Marta.
Does she normally have an accent? Because obviously she's trying to play.
Yeah, she does.
European. Is it European?
Yeah, I think she's like Latina.
Because they keep referring back throughout the movie that obviously she's not from here. I think her mum's come in illegally. I'm guessing they're in America, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they are.
And saying that basically, then she's foreign and kind of you get that vibe that she's.
Yeah, I think they do. I'm pretty sure they kind of like saying, "Oh, you're from da, aren't you?" kind of thing. Maybe they're kind of getting it wrong in like some weird like stereotypical thing, like they don't really care about her that much to know about her background entirely as to where she's actually from,
but they act like they do care.
Yeah. Like from I looked into, I thought there was maybe a connection with why she was called Martyr, because I thought Martyr, I know that's like an old term for something or other, so I did look up what the actual meaning for that is. The word martyr, in the past it meant someone who chooses to sacrifice their life or face pain or suffering instead of giving up something they hold sacred.
Yeah, because like I know if you're martyring on, that's kind of like a saying, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Which is kind of true, really, within this role, I think, that she plays.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's a clever way of having that as a name to reflect on that.
Mm.
By today's standards, it can also be described as someone always suffering one way or the other. So
For the other one.
yeah, so the suffering in the fact of, having to deal with these hoity-toity
Oh, I don't know
and-
how she does it. I think I would have to just quit, because the falseness of them people, it would just drive anybody insane. And I think this is where Harlan gets to, where he can see that everybody is not actually there for a genuine reason anymore, and it's a case of it's just money orientated.
Yeah.
It's not for the love, it's not for wanting companionship or anything like that. And I think Marta is the only one who actually gives him the time of day. For Harlan, she's there for him. Yeah, okay, she is getting paid to do so, but she does care, and she's a friend.
Yeah, very good one, because they make a thing of saying that they play like bridge or something with those little bead things every night or every other night or something like that to pass the time. So it's a competitively friendly game of that going on.
But I know, obviously, I don't know if this is a common game that she used to play or if she's been learned or taught by him, and now she's actually getting better at it than him,
Yeah.
And he don't want to play with her anymore, kind of thing. He gets this. I think he's quite an oldish man, so it looks like, I think it was 85, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, they were celebrating his 85th birthday. So.
And he's having a tantrum like a 2-year-old because Marta keeps beating him at a game. So basically, getting on with the murder kind of mystery vibe to it. Kind of got a bit of a background on the characters. It comes apparent on the night of his birthday, where he's literally cut most of his family out of the will, or kind of putting them seeds of disconnection between them.
Yeah.
So obviously he did it to
ransom, which is another from ransom, like holding somebody for ransom. I think.
Oh my goodness! I didn't even twig on that. That's really clever. Yeah, and I'll be able to remember it as well now you said that.
Yeah.
Straight away cutting him out of the will, kind of wanting to do better for him. He also gets to a point with Walt where he's saying, I'm basically firing his own son.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and he's 85 years old. It's like, no, you're wanting someone to look after your business, not fire them.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's got that bust up with his daughter's husband, with the affair. Then, obviously, you've got that hippie-like one, which you say reminds you of
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. Because she's obviously pinching Meg's tuition, so she's getting double pay.
Yeah, for that.
So there's all this kind of deceitfulness under the bed of this grand mansion house.
Which, by the way, looks pretty spectacular, doesn't it? The art decor in that place is like, wow. This is, you're like looking at all that intricacies of how things are placed around. It just looks amazing.
The Knives Out thing, that just like
the Knives Out in the scenery, yeah. It's almost like Game of Thrones style type thing.
Well, exactly. It was like quite bizarrely that chair and some of the scenes, and it just really grand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you kind of get that vibe of deceitfulness, you get that vibe of mistrust, and he's cutting everybody off on his 85th birthday, which is not the greatest idea, when you're 85, to upset all your family, but I think they needed this lesson. So obviously Marta goes upstairs and helps him get ready for bed. He needs some
morphine
and some other thing, which is like paracetamol, I'm guessing, or something to ease the pain or inflammation or something like that. So it looks like she's given him the wrong dosage. She's giving him more morphine than any human should intake. Which
comes into play because of the fact that when they're playing the game, he kind of knocks the stuff off onto the floor, and they make a point of showing that the bottles have fallen on the floor with the labels, and she's kind of to think, oh, right, she mixed up the two bottles there, and it's like, oh gosh, she has actually done this by accident. She's accidentally poisoned him and
gonna kill him.
Yeah.
However, I did think it was a bit bizarre that there was apparently this antidote that you have every medical person should have in a bag, and it wasn't there, which that made me have a bit of a seed of doubt that she doesn't seem that daft. She seems quite like she's got her stuff together.
Yeah.
That somebody else might be planning something.
Yeah.
So I had that in my head already.
Back of your mind, yeah.
Even though, as we slowly come along to the story, that changed again for me. So I'm very easily manipulated, obviously. It's quite funny because obviously Marta has got this condition where she can't tell lies. A little bit like me, but I don't vomit if I...
Yeah, I thought there was a sort of clever way of going about that. Can't say I've ever seen that happen in like a Agatha Christie thing or a Poirot, so someone doing that.
Well, if I were a detective, I'd love her because it's like, oh, this is so easy.
It's like built-in lie detector.
Yeah, pretty much. I know for me, I probably would go red. I'm not very good at lying, so my face kind of goes red and I'd look uncomfortable and...
Yeah, mind you, I'm always rubbish with those. I know you've played in the past that LA Noire, and you try and figure out from when you're doing the detective things in that, and it's almost like the characters purposely trying to look shifty and exaggerated. But it's like you still can't make out whether you're lying or not, and really think it's really tricky. I can't say I'd be a very good detective based on that, but
I'd like to think I would be a good detective. I think I'm quite good at reading people. Like you make me laugh because I can say to you, oh, blah blah's gonna say this, or they're gonna do this, and you're like, how do you know this? And then weirdly enough, I'm normally right, aren't I, with what I predict? Obviously, I have to know the person or get to know them. So I'd have to be like what this detective is and spending a lot of time around the people to kind of suss them out. I can't straight away do it.
Okay.
But once I'm around them a little bit longer, I can have I've got like a little bit of a people radar. I think it happens in films as well. I do it the same thing. Like,
yeah, I was going to say, is that apply to that as well?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So that's why I always have like a knockout character that I really personally like. It doesn't mean that everybody else's knockout character, but for me.
And can I ask who for you in this is there more than one, or is it just the one who's a knockout for you? A very strong attachment to?
You're gonna laugh. It should be why are mine always not the main characters?
Right, okay.
Like, so it's not Marta. She's nice.
Right, okay.
And I do like her and I think she's good, but I feel like the detective, Blanc, blah, 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 whatever his name is.
Benoit Blanc, yeah.
is the knockout one for me.
Okay.
He's the one who saves the day, and...
Well, as he sort of should, because he's the
and I feel like
private detective.
I like the way he's already sussed it all out. He knows what's going on.
Well, he didn't know, because he didn't know why he was even summoned to the...
No, but he knew to cling around Marta, and...
Yeah.
He took a keen shine to her.
Quirky edge to aspects of things to look into.
Yeah, and the way that he did detect things, and he did it quite funnily.
A donut hole.
Yeah.
In a donut. And all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I really liked him. He proper made me chuckle. Don't get me wrong, Marta was a good character, but I feel like if he wasn't in it, it wouldn't be as good.
And so it comes to light that she's seemingly got all the inheritance money in the will.
Even though she's hiding the fact, obviously, from the detective that in her head she's murdered, oh bless her, by accident, Harlan. Yeah. So she's covering up her steps, literally, in one scene. And then obviously she gets given all the inheritance, but there's a loop, isn't there? Like, if you've actually murdered somebody and have the inheritance to you, that you won't get it.
Yeah.
So they're trying to now...
the rest of the family are now trying to pin out, or that put on her that she murdered, and so they can obviously claim back what they think is rightfully theirs based on family. And
this is where you get Ranson, who is... He deceits me in this, and I get so tricked and get confused of what I'm even watching, because it's like, initially he's a bad character, and then he's a good character for
Yeah.
half the film, and you think he's really doing good by Marta.
Yeah.
And then he's
not-
a baddie again. And I'm like, what the hell? And I really believed it because it's like, oh, it's Captain America. So Captain America is
Wouldn't
a good
lie.
man. Yeah. And I'm like, oh. And I even went to a place where let my guard down completely of they might get together and have children and live in this big mansion because he's rescuing her and he's going to give half of the inheritance or whatever to him. And I really, really went off on a fairy tale.
Okay.
So I was quite like, oh, Sophie, why did you not see this? It told you at the beginning. And the fact that I thought his name was strange, I didn't realise that it was like ransom, as in...
Yeah.
Yeah, holding you to ransom.
But I do think that's a very strange name anyway, regardless. Obviously, his first name is Hugh. Which
comes into play later on as well.
Yeah.
Which does sound like you.
Yeah.
And it made me think of... So I was really all over the shop. I don't really think I saw the ending coming. Not one bit. It just was a whole twist, wasn't it?
Well, yes, that's...
Like you keep saying, in a donut, in a donut, in a donut, in a hole, in a donut. So basically what Harlan gets Marta to do is she's like panicking, obviously, because she thinks she's poisoned him basically to die. He's only got like 10 seconds to live. There's not going to be
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
You can't tell anybody in 10 seconds what
He's
to
only
do.
got 10 minutes to live.
God.
And basically, he tells her what the plan is because he wants the best for Marta, doesn't he? Yeah. So he tells her to come back and basically say, right, oh gosh, look at the time. It's late.
Yeah. Very much. Oh, can't believe it's nearly midnight.
Runs out and then drive so that she avoids the cameras
and all that stuff.
And comes back and climbs up this thing to get
the trellis,
through this little window that's a hidden window,
secret door,
you know, these houses have so many secret passages and everything like that. And all this kind of story to cover up the fact that Marta had done this poisoning, incorrectly medicating him. And then he takes his own life because I'm guessing he doesn't want to wait for the pain, or it's more realistic if he commits suicide.
To rule out that suspect of that being in his bloodstream. The thing
that's frustrating about this one the most is in the end, actually, she hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah, it's a bit of
and it's
sad
a bit
thing.
Bittersweet because it's like, well, actually, if he'd have waited 10 minutes, she'd have been all right.
But again, in the moment, you didn't know that was the case because you didn't know they'd been set up in that way. But I guess that's part of the whole story narrative with a twist of events regarding that.
So basically, what happens is Ranson is a horrible man, and he changes the labels of the bottles to make Marta think she's actually given the wrong dosage. But because she's such a good carer, she knew what the bottles looked like. She knew what
was density or something like that.
Or the colours as well of the liquid a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
She knew which ones were which. And she'd given Harlan the right amount.
Yep.
So he would have been alive.
Yeah. So he'd taken away the antidote from her so as to make sure that she wasn't able to help him in his time of need, fortunately. So, yeah, did frame.
Yeah, he really did frame her, and it's quite a sad thought that he would still be around if he hadn't have jumped the gun, so to speak, but he was protecting Marta, which obviously you understand why he's doing that now, with the fact that he really does Harlan care about Marta, to the fact that he's decided to ditch his whole entire family and give it to the carer who he's not known, not saying not for long, but, you know, compared to your whole family that he's watched grow and, you know, live with them for his entire life. But this woman that's come into the scene and is looking after him. So I can understand where the family's coming from in a sense. So they also do come to the intention that she's either slept with him
or something, because it does obviously look a bit suspect. It's like, well, why have you given it to the carer? And because it's like, what's that about, kind of thing.
And like, did she influence him to change the will or
something like that?
Manipulate him in any way or shape or form.
Yeah.
So they're really like now getting to a point of where they're like, this is our money, this is wrong, this needs to be corrected. And that's when she gets into Ranson's car and this little romance that I think's blossoming that really just gets shattered quite quickly for me.
Yep.
So I really enjoy the end scene where, as Detective Blanc.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
I was actually being
not
sarcastic.
Not the doctor part, but
is really, really digging into this. And Marta has actually confessed. She's told the truth. She said, I'm really sorry, this is what happened, this is what I did, and it was an accident. And I feel like, I don't know if this does happen in medical, like if somebody did do something like that and it was a mistake, how that would happen or what would go about.
You mean how that would play out in a court of law type of thing? I don't know, but obviously runs a bit deeper than just the oops, I did that by mistake kind of thing. So because there's all this other elements going on with this, then it's, I don't know. But in the case of this story, it's kind of like just wavered and
that's because obviously she gave him the right one on medical.
Yeah.
So that comes about, and then Ranson actually kind of, in the end, there's a bit where they're all in the house and the detective is doing his digging work and she's like, I'm going to confess and I'm going to tell the family and I'm going to give it the money back and everything. Marta wants to do the right thing, or what she thinks is the right thing, until the detective stops her and she kind of gets a bit, you can tell she's quite confused at this stage because she thinks Ranson is her friend and that he was helping her, and if anything he was just making matters worse for her as he went along. He was like one of those things where you've got like a nemesis. I feel like I'm finding Nemo, you know, when they say nemesis. And
when they say nemesis.
But what does he say now?
An enemy.
An enemy.
But a nemesis.
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah.
I feel like I can't talk today. I don't know what is wrong with me.
A nemesis.
Who's like, you don't know and you think he's actually like one of your closest friends now. But actually, every move you make, he's...
I wonder if you meaning like he's listening to what she has to say, but in the back of his mind, they're thinking of like betraying her.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. He's like gleaning information from her.
Yeah.
Befriending her. But then...
looking for a chance to backstab her.
To backstab her. And I think that's the thing that's quite shocking and upsetting. And this gets all played out and it kind of unravels in a tight, nice scene at the end, doesn't it? Even though there is a bit where Marta actually does a clever thing. So the other...
Yeah, like I say, the maid.
Yes.
The maid, who mentioned before about bringing the breakfast up to him. And
she obviously says to Ranson, I know what you did, and sends him a letter, and he then passes it on to Marta to look like... So Marta meets her, and obviously Ranson's already done his dirty work on her. And Marta then obviously does the right thing by the lady that works for... She's the housekeeper, isn't she? And then in the end... I think the housekeeper obviously actually dies, but Marta actually, bless her,
pretends on the phone that she gets a call from the hospital that she's okay, and therefore that kind of inadvertently prompts Ranson to decide to confess to his crimes, and then shortly after that, Marta then decides to be sick on him because of the fact that she'd been lying about that aspect, and therefore brought it out of him to putting in this on record for them.
So then he goes to try and kill her with the many knives,
and he picks the wrong one.
I didn't get it initially. I thought she was gonna. I really did.
Mm.
I thought she was dead. And
Yeah,
it was
he
like,
had plenty to choose from, and he gets the one that's isn't the one that seems to be. It's one of those fake knives that kind of slides into thing to make it like a magic trick type of thing.
because then I said to you, I'm like, why is she not dead? Why is there no blood? Like, I'm looking at you like, what is going on?
I wasn't going to say, oh, don't worry, she's going to be all right, because obviously that's because for the first time watch you like I did for the first time watch it, I'm going to be like, oh, saying you want that surprise, don't you, of realizing?
No, I don't. I like to know that everyone's going to be all right. You know what I'm like? I don't like surprises.
But it kind of hinted at again earlier on when they're in the very top attic space, when Harlan's looking at the knife that he's got anyway, and he's talking about like the trickery of how things not what they seem kind of thing, and so that's where that sort of comes into play in that scene. So
it does, yeah, and it's all kind of linked back to one another. And in the end, I really like the end scene that you get where Marta is on the balcony.
That's a great shot because they've got the cup at the beginning as well, and it says "My house, my rules, my coffee," and then when she knows she's got the house and all the family are standing outside, and she's like towering over them in the ivory tower almost.
Yeah. And
she's got the cup in her hand and having a drink from it. It's like, yeah, I own this place now. What are you going to do about it? Type of thing. Yeah. So despite all this is the facts of how it's come to play, and there's nothing you can do about it almost. So they're all kind of like left with nothing, and it's just.
But I feel like they're looking up to her, like kind of in a bit of a please, like pity us in a sense, like
peasants down below. Yeah.
Yeah, even though actually Marta, bless her, what she's wearing doesn't look amazing, and she's got like a
robe dressing gown type
around her, because obviously she's been through the works for like a good week or something.
Yeah, so the level of class has greatly shifted, and
but it's kind of, they look really posh still down there, but she's looking down on them now.
Yeah,
and I love that.
Yeah, there's not a thing of looking at it in awe. It's kind of looking like, oh gosh, look what's happened to us. What are we going to do now? Yeah,
but they're kind of wanting her, I think, as well, like, please pity us. That's how I feel, a little bit like please kind of be a Harlan and look after us and give us money.
Yeah.
If that, I don't think she's going to do that.
No, definitely not. Not after what her family's done.
No, after everything she's been through. Mm-hmm. And I think she deserves it, really.
Oh, definitely. So, yeah, I'm bored. She's my favourite character in it anyway. She does a great job within the role of throughout the story, and she does get what she deserves in a good way.
Yeah, I think it shows actually you don't have to be family, you don't have to be blood related to somebody to actually make an impact on somebody's life. And I think that story about what level of class or how high up you are, as long as you're kind and you're good to people, you'll get what you deserve. And if you're a bit of a scumbag and you've got loads of money, you'll still get what you deserve, but in the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And that kind of is the moral, I think, behind it. Like, be good to you and people be good back to you.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much the film.
Yeah. Have you got any other notes to talk about or things to mention?
Let me look, see. Obviously, we already touched upon the donut inside a donut, but I really liked that line. It made me chuckle.
I'd say what made me chuckle when they're having the big confab in the house, and especially when Ransom comes in with his Biscoff biscuits. And I think, which is kind of find funny that they obviously Americans do have biscuits, but I don't think I've never seen anybody in America eating Biscoff biscuits before.
Well, do tell us this if anyone is from America, because to be honest, I thought your biscuits were weird. Like, they're like scones, aren't they, for us?
Yeah, that's what they call them as well. So yeah, because obviously they refer to them as cookies. And obviously, when in the midst of this argument, they're all having like talking over each other, and then Walter says to Ransom, or Hugh in this instance, he says, How about some more cookies, Hugh? You want some cookies? Kind of thing. I don't know. It's like just really tickles me the way he delivers that line. It's like just waving his things in his face. It's just really funny.
It's strange that they call them cookies because
Yeah.
like they're really not a cookie. Like a cookie is a big biscuit, and like
With the chocolate chips in it. But
it's like a ginger biscuit, isn't it? A little bit.
yeah, it's like a caramel infused. I don't know. It's
lovely.
It's really nice, but obviously you can get them because
but it's a biscuit. Come on, let's be honest. Don't get confused with cookies and biscuits. They're completely different things.
So yes, if that's all, we'll go to the scoring.
I think that's everything. So it is quite a comical film
in some aspects. Yeah.
I think I've got a number in my head.
Am I going first, and are you going first?
It seems to be that you go first now. I don't know.
It doesn't have to be.
Oh, okay. Ladies first then.
Yeah, ladies first time. Yeah.
Okay. Be a true gentleman, since I haven't seen the film this time.
Yeah.
And you have. I think the film length is really good. It doesn't seem to drag too much. It flows quite nicely, and it's really intriguing to watch and see how the story pans out.
Yeah.
It twists and turns, and it gives you a little bit of a surprise, and I think that's quite a nice ending the way it ends, and I'm quite happy with how it all ties up nicely. I think the main character for me is the detective. I think he kind of adds a bit of a comical, which I'm surprised that I actually like. I quite like his humour in it.
Yeah, it's not over the top. It's just kind of just funny remarks that he.
It's a bit sarcastic, I guess, isn't it? Like, in
a sense, yeah.
Yeah, and the way that he does certain things in his way he points things out and says things is not afraid to offend anybody or upset them. He's
telling it as it is, almost. Yeah,
straight talking. And Marta is obviously a lovely character. She's sincere and really nice, and then you've got these other people.
Yeah, this collective
bunch of manipulative, selfish people that just want everything their way. And I think they kind of do annoy me a little bit. But obviously you need that for the story to pan out. And I think for me, if you didn't have obviously the detective with a bit of humour and the way he figured things out, I think it'd lose a little bit for me personally. I feel like he's really quite a strong, prominent character. I do think there's clever shots. It's really intricate the way that it's filmed, and have really thought about how they're going to film it and which shots and angles, like we said about the scene at the end.
Yeah.
But I think I would definitely watch it again because I know I'd see something different. But I feel like it would be a solid 8 for me. I don't think I can mark it any higher. Just because some of the films that we've had have given me so much joy and kind of put a little bit of a place in my heart. Like now I actually think Singing in the Rain is my favourite movie so far. Like if somebody asked me what's my favourite movie now.
Really? Oh, wow.
I feel like that's what I would say.
Okay.
Whereas this one, I think, not meaning this in a horrible way, it will probably go into Sophie's archives, and then she'll be like, "Oh, have I actually watched that? Oh yeah, I've seen that."
Great.
Because I go a little bit to a point of where things drop off the end of the cliff. My brain doesn't maintain as much. I don't have enough storage or software in my brain like yours.
Need to upgrade your memory capacity.
yeah. So that one will probably
that's fair. Yeah.
Get kicked out. But Singing in the Rain is literally in file A at the front
column, yeah. Well, I'm going to say match your scoring as the same as well. My reasoning is the first time I've watched it, I probably would have given it a 9.
Really?
Did really enjoy the twists and turns and how the story played out. Really enjoyed it the first time. Not to say I didn't. I did obviously enjoy it a little bit less this time, knowing what was happening, and length was okay, but obviously I'm kind of looking for the beats of how things are going, because it's still relatively fresh in my head from
so you knew what to expect still,
as such. It wasn't like I'd seen it like 2 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever, and completely forgotten how things were. So I was like, oh, nothing. So I kind of knew quite well what was going to occur. The ensemble cast that we've got going on are all fantastic in their own ways. The decor in the house is I'd love to live there and just like just
Really?
walk around the
Oh,
whole thing and
no.
like look at all the thing and just like just look really fantastic the way that the production design on that was.
I wouldn't mind being there like a weekend, but I don't think I could live there. I'd be
No.
like rattling around in this big house. You'd need a
And
lot of children to live in that house.
But yeah, there's obviously rewatch value in it for certain. Hopefully next time it comes around, it's not the score doesn't incrementally go down the
Hopefully
listing,
not.
but it is very enjoyable, and yeah, so it's just a solid high 8 for me.
I think that's really good then. I feel like we're both on the same page. I do feel like I'm getting to a point with films where I can kind of see something that is golden. And I've noticed lately it's the older films. It's so bizarre that cling to me and like, they're so special. Like even The Karate Kid, like I really, really loved that.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely something in the older generation of films that they just somehow got things right in a sense.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I don't mean this in a horrible way. We seem to try too hard now.
With certain things, definitely, yeah.
But it's just not as stand out as like just simple things that people wouldn't realise to do, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely is difficult to, when you say like, oh, something that came out 2 weeks ago is my favourite film. I don't know, it sounds like really about all the things that have been in the past, but there's going to be a certain point when you get like something like a sort of film from 2010 or something, and is heralded as one of the greatest things ever type of thing, and the older films kind of get forgotten. There may be a point where that occurs, but it's
there'll
very
be
hard
people
to
like you that kind of
keep hold of the past.
Just a quick question. Obviously, I've shared at the moment what I think my favourite film is. Do we have time to ask you, apart from obviously Jurassic Parks
and The Shining?
Those
are the two neck and neck, really, in terms of anybody really knows me at this point. We know that Jurassic Park is my favourite film, but as I've grown older and have been able to watch The Shining as an adult and watch over the years, that's now is my favourite film as an adult. I know it's greedy having both on the same rung of the ladder, but that is the case, and it's my rules on that. So,
is it now?
Yeah, so I feel like I have to. It's like I can't swap for. You asked me to swap one for the other. I don't think I could really do that. So yeah.
Still, for me, I think Jurassic Park would be like I'd keep that rather than The Shining.
Right. Okay.
Just because it doesn't scare me half as much.
Yeah, in terms of other things, I know Up is definitely.
Why? It makes you cry.
Yeah, it touched me on that level for sure, and if you like a sad thing, but once you get past that part, then you've got the fantastic story that we've already discussed in previous episodes as well.
Yeah, so definitely go and check
The Shining as well. So yeah,
nicely slipped those in, didn't you?
Yeah.
I would say my younger favourite film was The Notebook, so we might have to review that at some point. I know we did say, obviously, which quite funnily enough was between The Singing in the Rain and The Notebook to review, and now actually The Singing in the Rain has become one of my favourite films, so yeah, I can't really complain about that, can I?
No. So we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for listening to this potentially lengthy episode. I don't know what it would be like when you edit it, but
yeah, thank you so much for listening. I know people are getting to a point of, especially in the UK or wherever you are that you're listening to, and if you're in lockdown or anything like that, I know people are getting to a point of a bit despair, a little bit, thinking, when is this ever going to end? So I hope that if we can bring a little bit of a smile to your face, even if I can't say words right and it makes you laugh, then we're here to do that, and hopefully give you some film knowledge from Paul as we go along.
Yeah, we do appreciate you giving us a listen, and you can continue to listen to and check out all our other episodes on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and wherever else you may get your podcast from.
Yeah. So definitely follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We've also got a Twitter, and it's under the handle @SP_film viewers. So definitely give us a like, subscribe, leave us a comment or anything that you want us to review. Paul's manning that at the moment, but don't worry, I have access. So I can see anything. So if you do want to reach out to me or anything like that, that's fine as well.
So all that's left to say is thank you very much for listening once again, and we'll speak to you next time.
Speak to you next time. Take care, everyone.
Bye now.
Bye.